Ladies and gentlemen, how are we doing? I believe we are live. It's never as easy as it planned, but we've got a few people in here now, so welcome to the Young Fan Podcast live stream today. We are going to be doing a match reaction for Oxford United versus Plymouth Argyle. I think we're all okay. So yeah, let's crack straight on with it then. Oxford United, what a way! First of all, what a way to finish 2020. What a way to finish 2020. What a way to finish the decade. Of course, the final game for Oxford United this decade. The final game for Oxford United in 2020. We didn't make it too easy for ourselves. I see one person in the chat right now. Hello. John Henley. What is cracking, lads? Indeed. What is cracking? We've got 4 people in the chat right now. Get in there, everybody. Give your thoughts of the game down below in the chat as well. Hopefully the stream is okay in terms of the quality. Hopefully we're not lagging too much. I'm just checking right now. That's what I'm doing. Just checking. I think we all are okay. So let's crack straight on with the match reaction then. 3-2 to Oxford United. 1-0 down after just a few... after a bit of a nervy start. I will be reading out all the comments. I'm just going to quickly do this. So we early go 1-0 down. A poor pass from Elliott Moore and we go 1-0 down. It starts very nervy. And I'm concerned. I'm a bit worried when we go 1-0 down quite early on because Oxford United have only got 1 point out of so far this season when we're going 1-0 down. 5 people in the chat right now. Get involved. Sorry we're a little bit late. A few technical issues, but that's just what you get with technology. Am I right? So hopefully everything's working okay now. But what I would say is it's huge. And I have actually got a cheeky little graphic that should be coming up on the screen right now, which is the official league table. So let's bring up the league table now. Is the league table up for you people now? Say that it is. John Henley says ridiculous starting 11. I think we will be. I'll bring up the starting 11 as well. I think I can do that. So that's the league table right now. Hopefully you people can see that, and hopefully that is, you can read that quite well. I think you can. I'm just watching it down here. We are 15th in the league table. Your eyes are not deceiving you. We are 15th in the league table, and we're actually moving slowly but surely moving up to where we want to be. I know 15th is a little bit not where potentially where we want to be, but if you look at the points, have a look at the points down here. It's actually here's the points right here because it's quite small on here. But on here right now, we're on 25 points. The playoffs is 32, so we're only 7 points away from the playoffs. We've got Burton, who are managerless next. It's important. But let's quickly talk about this game last night then. So we go 1-0 down. We then equalise with a Josh Ruffles goal. A little bit scrappy. A free kick into the box is a little bit scrappy, but look, no one cares. A goal is a goal. And it was the against the run of play. I think the first half Plymouth definitely outplayed us. And then the second half, it was 1-1 at half time. Then the second half, we went 2-1 up with an absolutely tremendous Sam Long goal. Sam Long, the person who we were talking about in the stream, for the match reaction for the Wimbledon game. We said how good Sam Long's been. In fact, John Henley, who's in the chat right now, was saying how good Sam Long and Gorin were. We didn't have Gorin last night, but we certainly had Sam Long, and he was absolutely incredible. Matthew, welcome back to the stream. It's great to see you. Same with John as well. Great to see you coming back to the stream. We've got 6 people in the stream right now. Absolutely incredible. If all of you could leave a like, that would be perfection. We've got the league table on here right now. Charlie OFC says hi as well. Charlie, how are you doing? Matthew, how are you doing? John, how are you doing? Tom, how are you doing as well? 6 people right now, and the league table is on the screen right now. But yeah, we go 2-1 up with a Sam Long. Well, it starts off with Sam Long. He runs, he bursts along. I think he's got so much quicker, by the way. I don't know about you, but I think he's got so much quicker since he's been playing week in, week out. He does a great... if we do a really good, he did a really good run. He played it out to Sean Clare, who we've been very critical of as Oxford United supporters, but he did a great job. Hopefully the audio's okay. A great job in getting the ball out to Sean Clare. A perfect ball from Sean Clare. It has to be perfection for this to work, and it does. It comes in, and it's straight in from Sam Long. Incredible stuff. Oxford United don't make it too easy though. We do go 3-1 up with a penalty, and anyone that goes and says that's not a penalty, it's a penalty. Yeah, it is a penalty. It is definitely a penalty for Oxford United. I don't know why the Plymouth defender made that tackle. The ball was rolling out of plays. I'm not sure why he went in from behind. Shadipo as a winger. Again, I don't think he was incredible last night, but it was a great penalty. He won the penalty as well, to be fair to him. He stepped up to the penalty. He scored the penalty with with composure, you have to say. No, I was really impressed with that, and I was really impressed with Shadipo's penalty. I'd sort of say he got better in the second half. In the first half, I don't think he was brilliant, but in the second half, he was much better as well. We've got a few chats to keep up with now. 7 people, hello, all of you. Like, and if you're new, subscribe as well. That would be absolutely fantastic. It's the match reaction for Oxford United versus Plymouth, the final game of the decade, the final game of 2020, and it finishes Oxford United 3-2. Tom Merrill says, if we won the games we should have, we'd be in the playoffs right now, and that is true. But again, that's if buts and maybes, obviously. We can't really look back on those sort of games. We can't really decide, we can't really do that. We have to just look at what's in front of us. We have to beat what's in front of us. It's a cliche football saying, but it's true. We have to beat what is in front of us. And I definitely think that we are doing that now. We're on a great run with 3 wins on the trot. But like you said, Tom, you make a very good point. If we had beaten and we had taken games that we should have done against Gillingham, if we'd done better in the opening day against Lincoln, if we'd done much better against Sunderland, if we'd been better against a lot of teams that we've been at, Fleetwood, just to name a few, yeah, we probably would be in the playoffs and we would be where we want to be. But it's a long season. We're only a few games in. The league table says it right now on the screen. You can see the league table right now. We've only played... how many games exactly have we played? I definitely should know this. We have played... we've played 19 games. We have got a game in hand on a few of those teams, but obviously those games in hand are now switching due to a lot of postponements in football. We will be coming on to that because there is a bit of a rumour going around that we will be sort of football will be going on a small circuit break, which is gutting news for everybody, every football fan, everyone. A break from football isn't ideal and not what we want, but obviously it is for the best. Obviously the way that everything's going in the world right now, football has to set back and has to be sort of, it's definitely not priority. So we understand for that, but it's gutting, of course. Hopefully though, we finished this and we'll finish the way the goals went as well. And then we didn't make it easy ourselves. 3-1 up with 10 minutes to go. Sam Long then gives away a penalty, and they score with a great penalty. But we do enough to hang on. We win the game 3-2 from 1-0 down. We come back. We show desire. We show concentration more than anything, and we create great chances and win the game. So important that we did that, and I'm so happy that we're 3-2 because we look at the league table on the screen right now. It's so important. It's actually that way, the league table on your screen. So yeah, it's so important that we did that, and it's so important that we got the 3 points that we needed, and I think we deserve at the end of it. Right, let's catch up with a few of these people then. That if we won the game, yeah, we've done that. Tom Merrill says it's painful. It is painful. It is painful when you look back, but we can't look back. We have to look forward as always. Matthew Bell then says that little fake shot from Long to allow him that run is a Pele in his prime material. Pele in his prime material, says Matthew from Sam Long. If there's one player, if you told me that 2 seasons ago, that Sam Long, who was no disrespect to Sam Long, he was that bench was keeping him warm, or the warm was definitely he was definitely creating warmth on that bench 2 seasons ago. But since he's come off that bench, since he's been playing, he now is Pele material. Not my words, Matthew's words himself. But it was a great fake shot to see that defender go. I mean, that defender, he sent that defender back to last season in League 2 for Plymouth. No offence, if you've got any Plymouth fans, do let me know. I doubt we do. John Henley says Elliott Moore played very well. By his mistake, didn't let it affect his performance, and that's so important, and that is a cracking point, I must say. I generally do think that was a poor pass from Elliott Moore to concede that first goal, but he's a captain. He's a captain. He's got to, when you make a mistake as a captain or any player, but specifically a captain, what you've got to do from then is you've got to just understand that you're going to make a mistake, and you've got to just get over the fact you made a mistake and just forget about it, move on. Keep leading the team, keep being the defender we know that Elliott Moore can be, and just put in a quality performance. And that is just what John Henley said there. It's so important that he's done that. It's so important that he forgot about it, he got on, and he put in a really good performance. A poor pass, it has to be said, but look at, it doesn't matter now in the grand scheme of things. It's important now that wasn't affecting. It didn't affect his performance in the end. It didn't affect the result either. At least that's something to take out of it. And I think Elliott Moore did have a really good game yesterday, to be honest with you. Other than that mistake, of course. Charlie OFC says, looking at our next few fixtures being Burton, Bristol Rovers, Rochdale, all winnable games, how far could that take us up the table? So, I mean, I don't know whether that's a question in terms of you want me to get the calculator out, or if you are just wondering on sort of just sort of saying what we can do right now. So I've got the league table down here. So apologies, I'm not looking at you right now, but I am looking at the league table right now. So we're on 25 points. So I expect us to beat Burton. I know it's a big thing to say, and hopefully we get to play Burton. But I must say that if we can beat Burton, which we should do, rock bottom of the league table, they're 6 points down in that relegation zone without a manager. It must be said they are without a manager right now. That will take us, 25 points will take us obviously up to 28 points, and that really puts us in the mix. That takes us from about 15th to real mid-table 12th sort of area. And then from that point, when we're on 28 points, we're then looking only 4 points away from the playoffs. And if Charlie, like you're saying there, if we can beat Burton, which I think we should, Bristol Rovers, who are 21st in the league table right now, and who else is the next one? It is Rochdale, who are 20th. You know, we've got 24th, 21st, and 20th in the league table in the next 3 games. I expect us, I know it's a big thing, but I expect us to probably win all those games. Whether or not we will win all those games, I think that's a really big statement. But we're on form. We've got form, and I do think we can win those games. I expect us to beat Burton. And like I said, we got 21st, 20th, so I think you have to sit here and say I think we should beat both of them. We're in good form, and if we do win all of them, we really could be in the playoffs, which is incredible the way that this season's gone so far. But you made a really good point there, Charlie. I do generally think we could be in a really big shout of the playoffs if we get 9 points in the next 3 games. John Henley says, only problem is all the games being postponed, never really know where you are in the league table. And that is spot on again. You don't know where you're going to be in the league table because you have to sort of go, they've got 3 games under us, they've got 2 games under us, we've got a game under us, they could take 6 points and go above us, we could beat them, we could win our 2 games in hand and we could go above them. But it's buffs and maybes. I know I keep saying it, but it's true. It's if we beat them, let's try and get. The best thing we can do is try and get the actual points on the table instead of having to worry too much about what's going to happen. I'm trying to keep up all these chats coming in. Thank you everyone that's putting them in right now. Hansen came in and did a great job. I thought he definitely did. I thought Hansen coming in instead of in replacement of Gorin. I did say when I was watching the game, he isn't Gorin. He isn't no Gorin, but he definitely did a great job. And I'm really, really impressed with Hansen coming in there. And I thought what I will say is I think Gorin. I think Hansen is. And I don't really remember Hansen as a CDM when he joined Oxford United a few seasons ago. I remember him being more of a right back. But when he came in that CDM, I thought it was really, really good. So yesterday, I think he did well, and I definitely preferred having Hansen in that defensive midfield role than I did Gorin, because I think Gorin is so. Sorry, is that the way? Yeah, I hope that's the way I put it. Definitely prefer having Gorin in there than Hansen. I know we've seen Hansen only play there for 1 game, but. Gorin's Gorin, but when Gorin gets suspended, that's the game he plays. He plays a pretty reckless game when he does play. He's going to get suspensions. Of course, Kelly is now suspended for the next game as well, so it'll be interesting to see who comes in there. Sykes was on the bench, which we'll mention in a minute, and also Brannigan could be coming back to full fitness, or at least fitness to be at least named on the bench soon as well. He was actually meant to be named on the bench, but he wasn't actually in the squad yesterday. But hopefully we can get him in there. But Kelly not being about. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Sykes is back in Carl's good book, says Matthew Bow, and like I just mentioned there, I think he is. I think he is back in Carl Robinson's good books. To be honest with you, because I think what Sykes did wrong was the Swindon game. I don't think he played very well when he came off the bench. Carl Robinson obviously then openly came out. I don't know whether you've not heard of it, but he came out. We did mention it in the last stream, but he openly came out and said he wasn't happy with Sykes' performance when he came off the bench. He actually, he actually came out and said, I think the statement was, everyone keeps telling me Sykes is a good player, but that performance showed a lot. That obviously is a pretty confident thing, and a definitely confident thing to come out and say to the public. And he technically did throw Mark Sykes under the bus in my opinion, but he came in, he got him off the bench today, which I didn't think he was going to do. Yesterday I didn't think they were going to bring Mark Sykes on, if I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't think Mark Sykes was going to get off the bench, because if I'm being honest with you, I think Carl Robinson, and I love Carl Robinson, but I don't think Carl Robinson, let's remember, Sykes wasn't named in the squad for probably the last 3 or 4 games. Then to even be named on the bench, I think is the first step. But for him to come on and play the amount he did, I actually think is quality. John Henny says something stupid in the amount of games called off. There's a lot of games being called off right now, but like we keep saying, football has to take a step back a little bit. when things in the world are happening right now. But no, it is annoying that games are being called off, and hopefully we don't have a break. But to be honest with you, I probably can see it happening. Let's quickly move the D table right now. So here we go. So Charlie says we just have to take every game as it comes. 100%, Charlie, spot on there. We do have to take every game as it comes. Every time we have a team in front of us, we've just got to beat them, and you never know where we're going to end up. You know, we could lose our next 3 games. It'd be horrific if we did, but we could. But we can't look at our next 3 games as a collective of 3. We have to look at it as 1, 1, and 1. We have to try and beat them, and beat them. But we can't think about Rochdale. We can't think about Bristol. We've just got to think about Burn. Hopefully we get that game on Saturday, plays on Burn as well. And I also will be doing a live one of these on the day as well. After the game on Saturday, I will be doing a live episode of the podcast for the match reaction for Oxford versus Burton. Hopefully 3 points will be done there as well. I'm excited for that as well. Everybody, please leave a like on this episode of the podcast right now. Leave a like. There's 6 people on here, so can we have 6 likes? That would be incredible. John Henley says, we lacked height in the middle. So our midfield yesterday was Hansen in a defensive midfield role, McGuane and Kelly. Hansen isn't the tallest. I have to be honest. I think you're right there. Kelly certainly isn't the tallest. I think McGuane really was our only tall player. I don't know the actual height of Cameron Brannigan exactly, but he's not the tallest either. But I think he probably is taller than Kelly. If I'm not wrong, he probably is a little bit taller than Hansen maybe. But Gorin is quite a tall guy, taller than Hansen, Gorin, 100%. So no, I get that. I do understand what you mean there. We did lack a bit of height, and when they do put a ball forward up in the air, you got to try and win that header in midfield. I understand what you mean. It wasn't the tallest in midfield, but the smallest player is Kelly, and he's not playing next week. But I did think Kelly did quite well yesterday, to be honest with you. It wasn't his best performance, and we will be doing. I actually want to try and do a live player ratings. I want to hear what you put for your player ratings, and I'll sort of discuss mine as well. So we'll go player by player, and you've just got to leave a number down below as well if you've watched the game. Alex Della, welcome Alex. How are you doing, mate? Hopefully you had a very, very good Christmas. How are you doing? He says, who is our best signing this season? I think you mean. I'm going to answer as if you do mean this season. Hopefully that is what you mean. I think our best signing this summer. That's a difficult one because we've made quite a few. We made quite a few signings this summer. I don't know. Who was our best? I mean, we brought in Claire, McGuane, Kelly again, loan extension, Winnell. We made quite a few. Matty Taylor obviously was a permanent signing we made. Who was our best signing this summer? I have to say Obita. Obita's been decent. I think our best signing, a little bit controversial, I think our best signing probably is either Matty Taylor. I think making him permanent is so important. He's got a lot of goals. He's got quite a few goals this season, some important goals as well. Rob Atkinson. I know this wasn't a signing this summer, but I do actually think Rob Atkinson was an incredible signing. I think Rob Atkinson was a really good signing considering he came from non-league. I know we signed him in the January last year. Nearly a year he's been here now, but we've only really seen him this season. So I think Rob Atkinson's been good. Like John says there, I think Jordan Obita, and Tom said Matty Taylor as well. So no, I do think there's quite a few candidates for best signing. In my opinion, I'd probably have to say, final answer, I'm probably going to say Matty Taylor, but closely behind him, I'm probably going to say Marcus McGuane. I think Marcus McGuane is actually really is in some great form at the moment. He's really strong. He sort of is a little bit like Baptiste. I know I mentioned it in the stream, in the last stream. Baptiste is very similar to McGuane. I think McGuane's very similar to Baptiste in the sense he's quite tall, he's very strong, he's good on the ball. I think there's some real good similarities there. So I'd have to say Matty Taylor because he's so important, but I think also McGuane. We made some decent signings as well. Your best, here we go. Who was the best? He was named on the bench, then took off. Any reasons to why? Who was that? Who is that? He was named on the bench. Cameron Brannigan, I think you mean there. I don't know why he was on the bench. I know he was named on the bench originally, and then I think at last minute, then Sykes got put in there. I don't know whether or not that means he pulled out last minute and Sykes was on there, or that it was just a typo error on social media, and he didn't actually travel with them to Plymouth, and Sykes was always meant to be on the bench. I'm not sure why there as well, but I do know he's sort of slowly coming back to full fitness. So hopefully Cameron Brannigan does come back, and hopefully starts, or at least is on the bench for Burn, because I do think now we have got a midfield gap where we can potentially add in Cameron Brannigan. John Henley says probably not match fit enough. Cameron Brannigan he's definitely not match fit enough right now. He hasn't played a match in quite a few weeks. John Henley says your best striker hits a good vein of form and then gets benched, resting or not. That's poor management. That's difficult, that one, isn't it? That was difficult, I think, because, you know, Dan Adji was the replacement for Matty Taylor. I think Matty Taylor, he did have it was a good goal against, I can't remember, the good goal against the game before we played Plymouth, which was, it's embarrassing. Who did we play? It's completely gone out of my mind. It was Wimbledon. There we go. Wimbledon. It was Wimbledon. I think the difficult thing for that is, I think it's a little bit different. Well, apparently, he was injured, John. I remember, I did see on Twitter before, I think he did have a dead leg after the Wimbledon game. So I think that might have been the reason why he didn't play. And in addition to that, probably resting him, maybe. But I do understand what you mean. It's not great management if you are dropping a player that's in form and scoring goals. I understand that, but apparently I do think that he did have a slight injury. So I think that might be a reason there as well. We've got 8 people right now. Leave a like on this episode of the podcast, live episode of the podcast. 8 people in the stream right now. I welcome you. Subscribe if you're new as well. Tom Merrill says, I reckon Matty Taylor as player of the season. I have to agree with you there. I think Matty Taylor's been incredible. I think Marcus McGuane is a little bit behind him. Just a little bit though. John Henley, Obita for me since he's permanent and been decent. I think Obita's been good. I've been a little bit critical of Obita. Since he joined, I was a little bit worried about him. I didn't know. I'm not going to flip-flop too much. I'm not going to pretend like I was a little bit not so. I was a bit critical of him when he first joined. I do think Obita is slowly sort of showing more and more what he can do. I thought he was a little bit off the pace, a little bit slow when he first joined, but he scored a goal against Wimbledon. He was quite, generally quite good against Wimbledon, and he can put a good ball in the box as well. It has to be said. So no, I was happy with Jordan Obita. He didn't play last night, of course, because his wife is in hospital having a baby. So hopefully everything's all good everything's all good there with him and his wife. Matthew, I think it is his wife. Hopefully I'm right there. Tom Merrill says, I know he was on a loan last season, but Matty Taylor has been decent. Yeah, he has been decent, mate. He has been decent. I'm very, very happy that he's now permanent. Matthew Bell says, who was everyone's man of the match? My man of the match, probably last night would have to be Sam Long. I think my man of the match had to be Sam Long last night. If we look at the players, Jack Stevens didn't have a lot to do. Josh Ruffles scored a goal. I thought he was pretty decent. I think he probably was a contender for man of the match. More decent, but mistake leading to a goal. I thought Rab Atkinson was solid, but nothing outstanding, but solid, and that's what you wanted from a defender. Hansen did well. I thought did pretty decent. Kelly was decent, I'd say. McGuane I thought was good. I like McGuane. I think he was quality last night. Shadipo didn't do too much, but showed glimpses of good play. Adji, a little bit quiet, did alright at holding up the ball, but his finishing was a little bit below par in my opinion. And the other person was Henry. Didn't do too much, to be honest with you. Henry did put a decent ball in the box, I think, but other than that, he didn't do too much, and he did get subbed off quite early on. There. So, Charlie, who I'm just got to make sure, is it Charlie's the next one? No, there is one before that. John Henley says, resting him for Burton, would have played Adji at, would have rested him for Burton, would have played Adji at Burton. So you're saying you would have played Taylor last night and Adji against Burton. Interesting. The only thing is, though, I think he did have a little bit of an injury. So yeah, I think he did have a little bit of a knock, so I think that might have been the reason. I don't know whether or not he was being rested or he was maybe resting him because he was injured. He didn't want to sort of get that injury any worse really and get him out for a long period of time, because that's the worst thing we can do, because we can't really rely on Sam Winnell to be our striker, because he's also got a sick note as well most of the time. Hopefully he can turn out good though. I want to see more of Sam Winnell, because from what people are saying, I haven't really heard of him. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and said that I didn't know too much about him before he joined, so hopefully he can be pretty decent. Charlie says, no Kelly against Burton. Will this impact us? It depends who comes in from him, I think. It depends who comes in from him. Joseph Warwick has asked a quality question just coming in now. I'll answer your question in a second, my friend. Very, very good question, though. Do I think what will impact? I think it depends, really. I think it depends who comes in for Kelly, I think. Who comes in for Kelly in that midfield. I think McGuane definitely is going to start. I think Goran's going to come straight back in there. He might maybe play Hansen in centre mid and keep his place because he thought he was good, and he thought that Goran's got to come back in. There's no doubt about that. Goran has to come back in that defensive midfield role. Yeah, I don't think there's any question about that. So I don't think, but I do think that I wouldn't play Hansen in that midfield role. I think in that midfield role instead of Kelly. I think we've got to have a bit more of an attacking player in there, because Kelly is definitely more offensive than he is defensive. I'd go in, probably play either Sykes there. We've got options. I'll play Sykes there, Ford there. If Brannigan's fit, I don't think he will be fit to start, but I think he definitely 100% is obviously going to come back into the starting lineup when he is fit. So there's a lot of options that can play in that midfield, but I do understand what you mean. Will it affect us? I think it depends who comes in for Kelly. Matthew says Olamide. I keep pronouncing that right. It's Olamide. Is it Olamide Shadipa? I'm pretty sure how you pronounce his first name. Has been very good. He has scored a lot of goals. No, he has scored a lot of goals. I mean, last night was a penalty, it must be said, but I do think he has scored a lot of goals. And he has been pretty consistent for us. He's been pretty good. Well, I don't know. Has he been consistent? I mean, he's been consistent on Tuesday night games when it comes to scoring goals. I do think he's a bit in and out of games. I think it's glimpses. But I think that's what you get with wingers. You're not going to have a winger that's going to have the ball all the time and is going to run the game for you. I think you're going to run the game from midfield and run a game from the strike force or the defence. You got, the spine of the team. You're not going to find you're going to have a player dictating the way that the game plays from the width. So I understand what you mean, though. He has been good and he scored a few goals for us now. So, and that penalty was crucial in the end, because we gave away a penalty and conceded from it, so I think that's important. McGuane close second to Longy. I don't know, in man of the match. I think you mean, man of the match. I'd probably say so. I think Longy definitely is man of the match in my opinion. Like I said, do I think McGuane was second man of the match? Probably. I think he probably was definitely in that top three. I've got three candidates for it. I think Ruffles is a candidate. I think Long's a candidate, but I definitely think he's won that. And I think McGuane definitely is in that top three as well. But some decent performances, some good performances, I'd say, from quite a few people last night. Kind of keep up now. Here, Alex Della says Ruffles or Long for man of the match, 100%. He's definitely in my top three as well. John Henny says, Miday's first touch lets him down. It does. I do think there was one time. I think he actually got away with the penalty, to be honest with you, because that first touch that he gave with the penalty was actually going off the pitch. I mean, I don't know what the Plymouth defender was doing there. Just wiped him clean out. No, that wasn't ideal, but his first touch wasn't great. But he's a very, very quick player, which is what we like. We like quick players. And we did need a quick player because I think that's how we want to play. We look at the likes of Nathan Holland and Marcus Brown. They're very quick players last season, and they were great for us. So no, I do know what you mean. Joseph Warwick says, where do you think we need to strengthen in January? And I am going to do a January transfer window. If you want to see this live, put that in the thing, whether you want to see my January transfer window stream live or you want it as a normal podcast episode. I think the live one will be quite cool because we can actually discuss as well what we think, but I'm going to sort of go through each position and we're going to discuss if we need to strengthen those positions. If you want to see that live, then leave a comment down there as well. John Hayes says, yeah, we do want to see that live. If you want to see a January transfer window special episode of the podcast live, I will be doing that live, and I'll sort of be discussing what you people think, about each position and where we need to strengthen them in January. Joseph Warwick says, where do you think we need to strengthen? 100%, just read that out. Charlie says, yeah, Hansen did a superb job, I think. I think he did do a good job. Superb. Do I think it was superb? I think it was a good performance from him. I think you also have to remember as well, he hasn't played a game for Oxford United from the start in a league game for a long time. But no, I think for someone that's came in to start in a defensive midfield role, we've seen Kelly play in there, and he's sort of struggled a little bit, I think, with sort of big boots to fill when Goran's not there. But I think Hansen did it pretty well last night, so I was impressed with Jamie Hansen. John Henley, love Henry, but his time might be up at Oxford United. Seems like he's declining. Big statement that from John, but do I think that? Well, I do think he hasn't been as good as he has been in previous seasons. I do think he is that, but I think what Henry also does is he has games of brilliance and he has games of being extremely quiet. Last night was definitely on the quiet side. I don't think he was very, very good. I don't think he was very, very good last night, but I think then we've seen games against Hull and he scored that really good goal. He was really, really good, so I don't know. I'm not too sure about that. Do I think it's time Oxford United's up? I think that might be a little bit of a big statement, but I don't know about him being as good as he has been in previous seasons. I have to agree with you there. Charlie says he loves scoring on the Tuesday night games. Midade certainly does like scoring on Tuesday night games, and I love the fact he scores on Tuesday night games because he's won us quite a few games in the end. John also agrees. I'm guessing you agree with that in terms of doing a live episode of the podcast, the January transfer window. I think we're all up to date with all of the chats in the comments right now. Right, let's do a live episode when we do the player ratings. So I'm going to read out the name of the player, and if we can have a few people, just a few, we've got 5 people in here right now. give your thoughts on Jack Stevens' performance. I know he didn't do too much, but out of 10, what would you rank Jack Stevens? I'll see if anyone wants to do that. So if anyone wants to get involved, what would you give Jack Stevens in his performance last night? I know he didn't do too much, but it'd be interesting to see what we see. So John and Joseph given a 5 for 6 for Charlie. 5, 5 and 6 for Jack Stevens. Interesting. I think that's probably right. I'd say 6 is probably average. I'd say 5's below average. I'm guessing 5's below average, I'd say. 5, I'd say, yeah, I think 6 is about average. 5 is a little bit below average. 5, 5, 6, I'd probably have to give him a 6, to be honest with you. But at least we're all around the same sort of area. Let's go with Sean Clay didn't start right back. Sam Long at right back. My man of the match, personally. What would you people give Sam Long? If you were to score him out of 10. So that's what we'd be interested to see. Sam Long out of 10, what would you people give him? I think 10 is outstanding. Couldn't do anything wrong. We're seeing a few people right now, so 10, 9, 9 for those people there as well. I think Sam Long was very, very good. Do I think he was perfect? I think he gave away a penalty. He did give away a penalty. That's probably the reason why I probably wouldn't give him a 10. But I'd probably give him an 8 or a 9, 100%. 8 or a 9 for Sam Long. His goal was quality. Let's go with the centre-backs then. Let's go Rob Atkinson. Rob Atkinson out of 10. So 10 is perfection. 1 is abysmal. 5 is a little bit below average. 6 is average. 7 is obviously above average and so on. So what are we saying about Rob Atkinson? 6 says Joseph. 6 out of 10 for Rob Atkinson. John says 9. Forgot the pen for Sam Long. Yeah. John Henley gives him a 6 for Rob Atkinson as well. No, I think you're spot on there, boys. I don't think Rob Atkinson was incredible. I'd probably give him a 6 or a 7, 6.5. I know that isn't. Yeah, perfect. Same time. Charlie says 6.5. I have to agree with that. I think he's in the middle. I think he was definitely average, but I don't think he was average. I think he was a little bit above average. 6.5 is perfect. I think 100%. We got 5 and a 6. 6.5. Fantastic. So, if you just joined the stream right now, we're doing live player ratings. So give your player ratings of the players last night as well. So next player is going to be Elliott Moore. What do you think Elliott Moore deserves? Do I think Elliott Moore deserves a 10? I don't think so. Does Elliott Moore deserve a 1? Certainly not. Give your thoughts for Elliott Moore's performance down below. We've got 5 people right now. Charlie says 7. Interesting stuff. Interesting. 6 says Joseph. Says John. Joseph says 5.5. Elliott Moore, I'm gonna give him a 6, to be honest. Give him a 6. I think he was average. I think he definitely led to the mistake leading to goal. I don't think I'd go as high as Charlie as 7. I don't understand why though. I think he was quite solid, but no, 7. A little man, 7 above average. I'll give him a 6. If I'm being honest. Let's go then with. Let's go with the left back, Josh Ruffles. Of course, the goal scorer. What would you give Josh Ruffles? Give your thoughts down below. Give your thoughts on Josh Ruffles' performance. 10 being absolutely incredible, 1 being abysmal. He certainly wasn't either one of them, I don't think, but definitely close to the 10 mark. As John says there, 8 for John. Joseph agrees with him there as well, 8. Charlie says 7, 8. Okay, we're seeing a very consistent run here. I liking this. I probably would give Ruffles an 8 last night. I think I would give him an 8. I think he was very, very good. Important goal. An equaliser against the run of players also is huge. It's huge. So yeah, I'd have to give him that. John Force says a 7 as well. Matthew says 8. A few people right now. So 8, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8. Pretty consistent. I like it. I'd probably give him an 8 as well. Defensive midfielder then. Jamie Hansen came in for the injured Gorin. What would you give Jamie Hansen in defensive midfield then? In my opinion, I'd probably give him a 7. If I was to rank him. We've got 7 people right now in here. Leave a like if you're new. Subscribe if you're new as well. John Henley says a 6 for Hansen. I gave him a 7. Joseph Warwick says 7.5. Charlie says 7. Did a job. Matthew says 7. Consistent, boys. We're very, very consistent with that. An 8, a 6, a 7.5, a 7, and a 7. I'd probably give him a 7 as well. I think Jamie Hansen was very good last night. I think Charlie did well. He did a job. That's what we need him to do. Do a job in there. Gorins definitely sets the standard in that position. I think Hansen came in and did a good job. Also, interestingly, did anyone else notice this? Sykes played in defensive midfield when he came on. I think he played in a more defensive role, which was crazy. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Give your thoughts on that as well. Sykes now been a defensive midfielder. I don't know what's come into him. Who are we missing? Who should we go with now? Marcus McGuane in that midfield. Give your thoughts on his performance. Marcus McGuane. I'd probably have to give Marcus McGuane. I'd probably have to give him a 7. Seven's a bit like 8 in my opinion. 8 for Marcus McGuane. We got a 9, an 8.9, and a 6. Matthew's gone low. Matthew was not impressed with McGuane's performance last night at 6. I'd have to give him a 7 or an 8, 7.5. Yeah, for him. Yeah, Charlie agrees with me there. 7.5. Yeah, I'd have to give him a 7.5 in there as well. But good performance there. Midfield so in conclusion, we gave Hansen a 7, and we gave McGuane a 7. So I don't think we've had some awful performances yet. Matthew says maybe 6.5. Close second to man of the match, so 8.9. Man of the match. Close second man of the match, 100%. No, he was close second. Marcus McGuane was quality last night. In that midfield, then also started Kelly. Kelly, what would you give Kelly? I don't think Kelly was probably as good as Marcus McGuane. I'll probably give Kelly a 6 if I was to give my score. What did you people think? 6 for Marcus for Kelly. Give your thoughts down there. Liam Kelly out of 10. John Henny agrees with me with a 6. Charlie agrees with me with a 6 as well. Let's see. Wait for a few people come in there as well. So 6. Interesting. All interesting. Joseph Warwick goes with a 6.5 in there as well. I probably have to agree. I don't think he was awful. I don't think he was average. I think he was a little bit above average. If we're doing the decimals in which we're seeing few people, I'd probably have to give him like a 6.6, 6.7 sort of thing. 6.5, 6. Yeah, I think he was pretty decent last night. Pretty decent. Who is next then? So we'll go with the front three as well. So we'll go on the left was Olamide Shadipo. What are you giving him? Won the penalty, of course. I don't think he was as lively, but I think he definitely won us the penalty. What we're giving Shadipo. If I was giving Shadipo, I probably would have given him a 5 if he hadn't won the penalty and scored the penalty. So I'm probably give him a 6. John's giving him a 7. Interesting. Charlie's given him a 6 to a 7. I'd have to agree with you there, Charlie. Joseph Warwick's going to 6.5. Joseph Warwick cannot decide. He's always a 6.5, 7.5, 8. He's always in the middle. I like it, Joseph. You're really, you're always trying to get the exact right score. Very, very good. Very, very good. I probably have to agree with you there though. 6.5. I think 5 if he didn't win the penalty, and he did all right. And his first touch, like we've already seen that was mentioned in the stream, wasn't great. And then I'd probably give him at the most, I'd have to give him I think I couldn't give him more than a 6.57. So, yeah, I think 6.5 is fair. But I'm going to stick to my guts. 6. Up front then started yesterday. Dan Adji, what are we giving Dan Adji? I'd probably have to give Dan Adji a 5.56. I thought he was average. Didn't do too much. Finishing was a bit meh. So I'd probably give him a 5 or a 6. John gives 4. Love Adji, but didn't impact the game. I'd have to agree. He was definitely one of the worst players we had yesterday. Joseph give him a 6. Joseph said he was average. I also think this comes down a little bit to what you sort of think of him. I mean, you know what I mean? It is, what do you think of a player? Do you think that was an average Dan Adji performance? What do you think Dan Adji's best performance is? How good do you think he can get? Interesting. Love Dan Adji, but he didn't impact the game. I don't think he impacted the game a lot as well. Charlie's given him a 4. Joseph's given him a 6 as well. I'd have to give him probably a 5 or a 5.5. And the final starter was Henry. Adji's much better off the bench on the wing. I'd actually have to say Adji off the bench is so good. Adji off the bench is very, very good. But when he starts, he's a little bit, he's not, and when he starts, he doesn't impact the game as much as we've seen him. He's not a striker, John, I agree. James Henry, given a 5 for John. Charlie's given him a 6. I'd have to give him a 5, to be honest with you. I'd have to give him a 5. 6, 5. More 6s than 5s. Me and John agreeing on a 5, but a few people giving him a 6 there as well. Interesting stuff. Yeah, not the best James Henry performance without a shadow of a doubt. And we'll go with the subs then. So who actually came on? So we'll give Sykes. What do you think about Sykes? Didn't do a lot when he came on, but he got quite a few minutes. What would you give Mark Sykes out of 10 when he came on? Anything decent? Anything good? Interesting to see what you people give. Mark Sykes when he came on. As well. John gave him a 6, so average. Mark Sykes' performance when he came off the bench. Jace gives him a 5. Charlie gives him a 6, average. I probably have to agree. I think 6, pretty average. Mark Sykes. I don't think he set the world alight when he came on, but I don't think he did anything bad for sure. 4 people right now in the chat. Absolutely fantastic to have you people in there. Welcome along. Subscribe if you're new as well. Leave a like. We've got 5 likes, I think, as it stands as well. Welcome. Next player that came on then, so that was we didn't really see Taylor. I'm not going to give Taylor a rank because he literally didn't come on. He literally came on for about 2 seconds. I think he, charged the ball down for about the only thing he did. The other players that came on were this is awkward. I only remember Mark Sykes going on. Mark Sykes came on. Anthony Ford came on. Give your thoughts on Anthony Ford. What would you give Anthony Ford and his performance? I don't think he was incredible. I don't think he was incredible when he came on. But I'll be interested to see what you people think. What you people think he gets. John's given him a 6. Interesting. A 6 for 6 for Anthony Ford when he came on. Interesting. Joseph's given a 6. Charlie's given a 6. Didn't really notice him. I have to agree with that, Charlie. I didn't really notice him too much either. Sure, we've got a big one. Sean Clare off the bench got the assist as well. What do you think? What do you think about Sean Clare? I'd have to give him a 7, to be honest, boys. I'd have to give Sean Clare a 7. 7 out of 10 for Sean Clare, in my opinion. What about you people? Let me know. 7 says John, agrees with me. Yeah, I think he was good when he came on. It's much better on the wing than he is a winger. I have to say, he's so much better when he's on the wing. So good when he's on the wing. Charlie gives a 7 as well. Joseph Warwick says 7. 7 or 8. He's a winger. Yeah, he's definitely a winger, not a fullback. I have to agree with you there. I have to agree. He's definitely a winger. He's definitely a winger, not a fullback. I think we saw him at fullback. I think Sam Long's done incredible when he's playing fullback, and he impacted the game a lot. They're all the subs, all the important subs? I know we didn't give Taylor one because we saw him for about 30 seconds. Are they all of the subs? If I'm missing some people, quickly leave it in the old comments, because I don't think I'm missing anyone, am I? I don't think I'm missing anyone. He played as a right wing for Hearts, which is where he was good. Yeah, he did. I think he played sort of in that midfield and the right wing. Charlie, I think when he was at Hearts, and I think you can see that. I think you can see much more of a winger and attacking offensive player than you can anywhere else with Sean Clare. 100%. I think you can see that in his performances when he comes off the bench. Charlie says Taylor came on very late as well. Yeah, I don't think we can give Taylor too much of a score. Anyway, if you've got any more questions, we'll finish at 5-2. If you've got any more questions on the game or any more things you want me to discuss, leave it in the comments right now. We'll discuss a few more things. We'll come up to about 55 minutes, an hour. Depends how we get on with it. We've got 10 more minutes on the stream. If you want to talk a little bit anything more, give your thoughts on the game, give your thoughts, any more comments you want to say, I'll read them out. We'll discuss them. Taylor's not applicable. No, I don't think he deserves a match score. He came on for about 30 seconds. Yeah, if there's any more things you want to discuss the game, leave your thoughts down below. We'll have a little discuss about them. And yes, but I think we're nearly done. I think we're nearly finished, and I appreciate every single one of you that's come into the stream today. And yeah, leave a like if you are new as well. If you're new and you haven't liked that button, if you're subscribed as well, leave subscribe to the channel as well. That'll be much appreciated. I think we're nearly up, boys. I think we're nearly done. Anyway, right, we'll call it here, boys. We'll call it here. Thank you very much for watching this episode of the podcast. Thank you very much for listening to this episode of the Young Fan Podcast live, of course. If you're watching this as a video and you're still watching now, thank you so much. Charlie says, we've got one more thing. Charlie says, think it might be a bit early with our form now. Table prediction for Taylor. Think it might be a bit too early with our form now. Table prediction for Oxford United. Final prediction for Oxford United, as in where do I think he'll finish the season off now? I mean, we're currently what, 15th? We'll bring the league table up now really quickly. We're currently sat in 15th. We're sat in 15th at the moment. I really think we can win our next 3 games, and if we can win our next 3 games, then we'll definitely be up for a shout of around. Results gonna have to go away, and obviously hopefully we don't stop for any more. Hopefully we don't have any more breaks. We probably can move up to sort of 8th, 7th, 6th, maybe 9th sort of thing. So I think it is a little too early to really think where we'd finish. I know I did my sort of predictions podcast right at the start of the season before the season started, but now Do I think we'll do it? I generally think we could finish in the playoffs. I think we could finish in the playoffs. I think we will. I don't think we will finish in the playoffs. But I think we'll be definitely up there. I definitely think we'll be up there. I want us to finish in the playoffs, to do anything to finish in the playoffs, but I don't know. I just don't know. Charlie says, these next games are huge games. Burton, Bristol and Rochdale, huge games. As you can see on the table right now, Rochdale 20th, Bristol 21st, and Burton are rock bottom. We've got to take points. We have to take points from these next 3 games. And I expect us to win at least 2 of them, if not all 3. Anyway, thank you so much for this episode of the podcast. I think we'll be in it sometime during the season, whether we finish there or not. Yeah, I think if we win our next 3 games, I think we're probably going to be up there with a few postponements there as well. But again, we obviously got a Doncaster. We're meant to play Doncaster, but that got called off as well. So I don't really know where we're going to end up. If I'm going to be honest, I have no idea what's going to happen with this season. So hopefully we can finish the season. Hopefully we can keep on going. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this episode of the podcast. It's been quite a long episode of the podcast. Thank you for everybody that's got involved. Thank you to everybody that is watching this episode of the podcast as a video or live. There's 4 people still watching right now. I thank you all so much. If you haven't liked this episode of the podcast, please like it and subscribe if you're new as well. Oxford United finished the decade and finished 2020 with a win. It's 3-2, and I thank you so much for that. Thank you everybody watching this episode of the podcast. Charlie says goodbye. Bye Charlie. Bye everyone. Thank you to everyone that's got involved, and I'll see you later. I'll see you on Saturday for Burton's Burton in there as well. Actually no, because we've got January's on Friday, so I might do our January transfer window live episode of the podcast on New Year's Day. If you'd like that, I know a few people are interested in that. I might do my January transfer window video podcast episode on there. So I might see you before. If not though, I'll see you either January the 1st for the window, or I'll see you on Saturday for the match reaction for Oxford United versus Burton. Hopefully that game gets played as well. Anyway, thank you very much for this episode of the podcast. Subscribe if you're new, like as well, and I'll see you in a bit. Thanks to everyone that got involved, and I'll see you later.